Hi everyone, Josie here from Life at 50 and Beyond. Thanks for joining me here on my channel. Today I'd like to show you how I made this farmhouse wrought iron double planter. One time I have listed here the items that you will use for this project. I've also listed them in the description box below. Majority of the items here are from the Dollar Tree. First, I'm preparing the garden fences by cutting the fixtures on the sides. Those are the nails and the hooks where the nails go to. And I'm just using the sharp scissors to accomplish it. I'm also going to be using the sharp scissors to cut the stakes at the bottom, you know, those pointy things at the bottom of each fence. It's easier to accomplish this by cutting from the underside because it is hollower. For some reason it is easier to do it that way. So this is how it should look like after you remove those items. Now I am going to be connecting the two fences together. I am going to be flipping it over right side down so that it'll be easier for me to connect them. I'll be using my handy dandy zip ties. I got this from the 99-cents only store, but they do sell them at the Dollar Tree as well. So how I'm going to accomplish this is I'm going to be tying some ties here, as you can see, and then I'm kind of putting one on top of the other so they align. And total cable ties I used are 6, and then making sure that they're tight. And then I will be cutting them using either my pair of scissors, but this time I'm actually using my wire cutter because the wire cutter is sharper and easier to handle, especially since I'm using this thicker and bigger cable ties. Now here's the acrylic paint that I'm using. The Dollar Tree sometimes sell them, but I got mine from Michael's, and I think Walmart also sells them. Now I am using my leftover paint, so I mixed it with a little bit of water to, so that it will be a little bit lighter and easier to paint. I've learned that when you dilute your paint and you want to do distress, it's easier that way, and of course your paint will last longer. And here's how it looks like after I distress. I'll be also doing the distress method or technique on the galvanized or thin planters, and you get this at the Dollar Tree as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put paint on the top and on the sides. So I don't need to really paint the back because it will not show up. Only the ones that show up will I be applying the paint in order to save not just time but also materials. If you notice, I am not doing a brush stroke technique here. I am just kind of dabbing the paint or using kind of like a stippling method. You can also use sponges like makeup sponges or any type of sponge that you may have at home to distress your tin can. But I just decided to use the brush technique because I kind of like some of the texture it gives. So to add a little bit more distress finish on this tin planter, I am adding acrylic paint in color black, and I'm only going to be dabbing a little bit of that color here and there, and I'm also going to brush it over the words, you know, the flowers and garden and also the flower and planter, so that it will show up. This also allows me to give it a little bit more depth without using sandpaper. So this is more like a dry brush technique. I'm just dabbing my paintbrush into the black acrylic paint and then dabbing the excess on the paper plate and then brushing it onto my tin can so that it doesn't really run off and it doesn't cover as much of the white paint. After several strokes of the brush, the words are starting to pop up, and that's exactly how I want it, so that the words will still appear. So I've decided to tone down the thick streaks of black paint by adding a little bit of the white acrylic paint that has been diluted with a bit of water. So just kind of trying to do some kind of mixing here so that I can kind of lightly apply it on those that are too thick so that it doesn't look like charcoal. I know I want it distressed, but I don't want it to look sloppy or dirty, especially since I'm kind of practicing this to be a wedding decoration. I don't want that it would look sloppy or dirty. It has to look distressed, but it still has to look very pleasing to the eyes. So afterwards, I'm gonna let this dry and then assemble. Now that my fences and my tin planters are dried up, I am going to try to assemble them. Now let me just show you the different options that you may want to assemble this. You can do this either horizontally or vertically. This one, you can use just one planter in the middle here, and it's horizontal so that you can actually appreciate the quote-unquote wrought iron. Okay, so you could do it here like a vertical kind of thing, so to hang it on the wall if you're just going to put flowers on it. Now, if you want it functional, you can also put flowers horizontally, and then if you're not doing flowers, is multifunctional for storage. Okay, so let's say for example one is for mail and one is a catch-all for, let's say, car keys, wallets, whatever. So, and then you can hang it on the wall, and then you can probably clip on some messages here and stuff like that. I'm gonna put some craft sticks here so that there's some kind of flat connection. So just cut this in half. Let's put it here. So I'm just connecting this or attaching this to the back of this tin planter using my hot glue, but you would have to use a stronger bond glue, kind of like E6000. So I'm using just the regular hot glue here for the purpose of this demo because I'm not quite sure yet how it's going to work, to be honest. But if I like how it goes, then I will reinforce it with my E6000 or any strong bond glue. So now, as you can see, it's kind of like a cross or a small T, and then I'm also putting hot glue there to attach it to my fence, and I'm going to be giving you a better view of this. I know it's kind of hard to capture this kind of a big project in frame, so please bear with me. So this is how it should look like. Make sure it's centered on this portion here of the left panel. And I'm going to be showing you also how I am going to be reinforcing this when I flip it over. But let me just connect the other planter onto the right side of this fence. Put it forward down here where it intersects here. Here, this one here. So make sure that it's kind of at the same level as the one on the left, and then press it so that it attaches well. Now if you want to reinforce it some more, you can do so at the back with more sticks. That's how the back looks like. So there's still a gap here, so I'm going to be putting that there, and then putting a little bit more glue, and in your case put some more epoxy. So be like a spider. We like calling this webs, right? But there's a reason why the spiders use the webs: to build their shelter and to trap their prey. Kind of what we're doing here. Not necessarily trapping our prey, we're trapping our DIY project. Okay. There we go. That's how the back should look like. Let it dry. And then voila. See? And then now you can put your plants or flowers. So here's the finished project, everybody. And all I did was just add my flowers, made sure that the flowers that I put on the left is the same one as on the right, so that when it came out, it all came out like this, like twins. So anyway, if you don't want a double planter, you can do a single one. Cut it in the middle. You can separate them. I imagine this on church pews or the aisle for weddings. And also I want to use this as a home decor. And since this is created in a horizontal way, if I don't like to put flowers, I can use this as an organizer like I mentioned earlier. I kind of want to use this for an entrance where it can be a catch-all for, you know, wallets, car keys, mails. Wrought iron on the top you can actually use to add messages, you know, use some clothespins, you know, the wooden clothespins that you can also buy from the Dollar Tree. Add some photos or some string lights. The possibilities are a lot for this one. You can also decorate your wall in your home, indoors and outdoors, front porch or back patio. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining me here today. I do appreciate all of you, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Leave some comment down below and click like and share. And also hope you all are having a great and beautiful day. God bless everyone. Talk to you again on my next video. Bye bye.